Hello everyone, I'm Pixel, and today we are going to be having the 10th University of Lego Ninjago. And now, due to the way that the host overhaul will have his celebration, we decided that it's best to have the disclaimers right now at the beginning instead of when he usually does because he will most likely forget about them. So the disclaimers at the beginning, as usual. This is not a kid-specific channel, although the topics overhaul might discuss might look like they're for kids, especially with Lego Ninjago as the main topic today. It's very likely it's going to end up either describing things that are too mature for kids, using words that are too mature for kids, or in general just in general anything that's too mature for kids, or something that YouTube would consider not for kids. So if you're a child, it's strongly advised you not to watch this video. As for everyone else, please continue. By the way, another disclaimer. Since this is a celebration video, let's just say it's gonna get loud at the beginning. Really loud. Thank you. Now let's go with the regular scheduled programming. Oh! 10 years! We got 10 years of Lego Ninjago! 10 years of the greatest Lego series ever! What an amazing time to be alive, isn't it? It just fills you with so much fun and joy! Can be anything better? Yahoo! Gulp, gulp, gulp. Thanks, Pixel, for the drink. You're welcome. Alright, now go back with the rest. We will need you later. As you wish, my lord. Great. So, now let's go back to our celebration of 10 years of Lego Ninjago. Now, some of you might be asking, is 10 years really that big of a number for a fictional property? I mean, wasn't it a couple of years ago that properties like games and anime reached their 20, 30, 50 or something? Yes, it's true. They are definitely series that have been going around for much longer than Lego Ninjago. There are many series who have started before Lego Ninjago and could very likely last even after Lego Ninjago. I mean, there's no real confirmation or anything. From what I understand is as long as Lego Ninjago sets make money, which they'll probably do, considering the fact that Ninjago was in danger of being cancelled twice, and both times they came right back up, debatably stronger than ever. So, it's kind of a wish-wash on how long it's gonna last. But let me remind you, this is a Lego original, well, not Lego original, a Lego theme that has no real, just a part of a larger franchise, like Star Wars. It's been around longer than Ninjago. I mean, you can literally make a kind of a timeline for Legos if you put the Lego Star Wars minifigures in a row to show how the times have changed, how technology improved. But let me remind you, most other Lego only series like Chima, Nexonites, and all others, they usually only last for about 2-3 years. Like, they do not last very long, these original series. In fact, it's usually about 2 to 3 years that people who make them should expect it until it's cancelled. But Lego Ninjago stayed there and is still as popular as now. In fact, you could even debate that Lego Ninjago is gonna get even more popular since, the Prime Empire and on top of the mountain, definitely I would say are some of the better seasons, and you could even say that although the sets on the newest wave are not particularly the best, I gotta be admitting, although the legacy stuff and the Temple of Garden is amazing sets, the actual season 14 are not really all that good. Well, they're probably better if you compare that amongst themselves, but entire wave it's kind of not really the best. But yeah, needless to say, Lego Ninjago seasons are definitely improving themselves in writing. In fact, I would honestly say the worst that we got was more the ending of the whole Gamadan storyline. That's where really the problem came when it comes to Lego Ninjago. Ninjago's storytelling right now. But needless to go from the story, let's start simple. And that is when I first encountered Lego Ninjago 10 years ago. Now, 10 years ago, I was only 7 years old, which is probably the target demographic. In fact, if you go by the ages on the boxes and Lego Ninjago, it is a target demographic. In fact, so I was pretty much what the show was designed for. Although I don't exactly remember if I watched it on TV or, well, actually I think I probably would have to watch on TV since I wasn't that much on my computer. So, but I'm not sure exactly the date or anything. I remember just that I watched it at its first first episode that came out, and I believe it was actually a two-parter, or like together. You know how sometimes those pilot lets are like air together. The so yeah. Although I'm not sure on the other stations, in my belief it was together, or the very least very close together. Like I don't believe there was like a big gap. So yeah, I remember seeing it. I really liked it. Like it's kind of funny how different it is from the pilots and now. Just not just by the number of the characters' designs, which change quite often. I'm talking like just in general. Like at first we thought it was just going to be Wu as the master, Kai as the main character, with all the other three ninjas as his like supporting cast, with Nia as the technically there but not really like the main frontline character. Like she's more like the it's kind of like Mei Hatsumi from My Academia, where she's there and she could be very relevant, but you're not exactly going to be expect her to be like in every arc or any story or to play a major role. But my God, has things changed? So now that we got the general story, my introduction to it out of the way, let's go through the characters. And you know what? I think that since the tragedy that happened months ago with the voice actor of this character, I think it only makes. Which I'm of course talking about Cole. 2020 wasn't kind to anyone, was it? It's just really sad that Cole's voice actor, Kirby Morrow, my apologies if I mispronounced either of the two names, passed away. So let's respectfully give this Cole the after that he voiced basically his final role, with all the credit he deserves. Now I'll be honest, the beginning of the series and I would say about before the Lego Ninjago movie era, I wasn't really particularly a fan of Cole. In fact, I would go as far as to say that he was my least favorite ninja. Maybe you could, maybe would argue with Nia being a little more of my least favorite. But needless to say, Cole was not making favors for him. Souls. Which, how could he? I mean, most of the seasons didn't really focus around him, and the closest thing to his own season that we got was a David Byrne special, a special that I feel like most of the Ninjago community would probably say sucks. I'm not gonna deny it. So yeah, but then we got the Lego Ninjago movie time, and at that point, I honestly would say that Cole, one of my favorite characters, easily. In fact, honestly, he's probably either my second or third uh, favorite ninja. I mean, that was cool, but Cole is just awesome. His episode, his story in the mountain is great. And I like it how unique it is compared to some other stories. I generally like what they're doing with the current story arcs with the ninja. And I really like it. It was well done. I definitely like his kind of us Cole's mother kind of being a big role to play. And I like the unique abilities that he got. Like I like the fact that he changes often. I do wish he remained as a ghost, but I like how he kind of changes often. Like the first, it was just change was just ghost, but then he becomes human. But although he becomes human, he has another change. Where he has this special, unique ability in his arms that allows him to have well, I guess kind of form of super strength. It's unique and great. I'm kind of curious on what exactly is the potential, especially now that he's able to also control stone from a long distance. And generally, it was fun. I also like the fact that he gets bone swords, and usually a ninja will just remain with this weapon they have at the beginning, even if it makes really little sense for a character to not have like a more of a famous weapon like a sword. I like the final battle. In general, Mount Master of the Mountain was basically what I feel like all of Cole fans, anyone who wanted to see more of Cole was. We get more of Cole's character, we get more personality, and I generally also like the fact that we reference the thing that Cole was supposed to be the original leader, like he's supposed to be, and just in general, I liked it. Honestly, the biggest complaint I have with that arc season is the fact that it feels like, considering how personal we are going into Cole and how much we develop him, the main villain has really nothing to do with Cole. But hell, getting a potential love interest in the princess Vanir is a pretty good trade-off, if you ask me. And although I feel like the newer seasons of Ninja made him a little bit more goofy, I still think he works. I like him. I like his kind of a character with Jay, how he interacts with Jay, because they kind of like bicker the two always, which makes sense. It's they're kind of like the opposite of one another. Like Jay, he uses fast type of attacks and energy based, and not really something that could be great classified as solid. While Cole uses something that's really hard, really very solid, being stone, and really hard and and I feel like a lot of people, it's pretty popular to portray stone as very slow. And I like how Cole has more the super physical advantages, while Jay has the more technical advantages. So yeah, I really like Cole, and I'm guessing we're not gonna get much from him for a while, but I'm still kind of not waiting until the next time he is going to have a big spotlight. Hell, maybe he'll be maybe it will not be that long. I mean, after all, it wasn't that long from Skybound and Prime Empire, if we are being technical. So maybe we'll get him another one. I think it was the exactly. What was it? Prime Empire? No, wait. It was, I believe, Skybound was season 6, and season 12 was Prime Empire. So, well, oh shit. We better hope that we don't get out 13 seasons before we need another call. Although, considering the fact that the writers did mention they are thinking about a musical season, or at least a musical project, it is possible we're gonna get that another Cole-centric season pretty soon, considering, Cole's father and did not retcon his character, like he's still supposed to be a music musician. And that was kind of one of the major episodes with him in the first season. So I'm guessing we're gonna get in for a while. Now, the next one we should talk about is, I guess, let's talk about basically the main ninja, the one that everyone's gonna be focusing on, and that is Lloyd. You know, gotta be honest, the whole Lloyd being the Green Ninja, the chosen one, was probably like one of the biggest shocking things that anyone could really like have predicted. Because the thing about Lloyd is that if you really look at the first season, there really isn't all that many like reason to believe that Lloyd would basically be the main character. Like you could believe it, it would be something like, oh, he'll be that like kid psychic, the one that will train the next generation, the one who will help occasionally. Nothing like extreme. But no, he is not one of the main characters, and he'll probably be one of the main, and he'll probably be the last, well, probably be like the one who's gonna have the epic final battle against whoever's gonna be the main villain if the series ever ends, which again, I'm doubting it will. So yeah. Now, I'll be honest, Lloyd's character seems to have more of a repeat, where it seems like he's only really that prominent and really a big figure whenever Gamadon's around. In fact, I believe one of the more prominent Lego Ninjago YouTubers even made a video when he says the problem with Lloyd is the fact how it's still the whole father issue thing. That's like his only story. But although I do agree that that does seem to be a bit of a problem. In fact, we didn't even kind of resolve the whole story at the end of the whole, well, Oni saga or whatever, or Sons of Gamadon, whatever you want to call that story. Especially now that it doesn't seem like Gamadon's known where he is. But I'll be honest, I kind of like the whole. But honestly, when it comes to it, Lloyd, when it doesn't revolve around personal trauma, is pretty competent. I mean, when it came to the Skybound saga, when it came to the wishes, the wish he made was the most logical. He'll consider the fact that he knew Duncan will turn it around on him. Wish for something to increase your intelligence in a known way so you would be able to, have a better chance. So, obviously, wishing for was intelligence. That's the most prominent one. But there are also others, like staking out the race that they are going to need to win the points. Or the keys, basically. The keyblades. Or get an ally from one of the NPCs. Since that happened already once, so why not again? I really like that. Like, it's clear the writers don't putting Lloyd in that whole leadership and whole being the next sensei, which kind of got dropped. But I guess it's because Wu is no longer in danger of dying by age or something. Although that might still come up, we don't know. So yeah, Lloyd, clearly the writers have like, unless there's something that's really gonna like activate Lloyd's trauma or like really scare him, he doesn't really have all that many conflicts, which makes him pretty understandable. I mean, after all, he had like an entire season to develop, to mature, to grow, to become better. So it makes sense. Like, let's think about it. Begin the series, a little snot-nosed brat who wasn't even much of a, like, nothing, who was basically like, I want candy, give me candy, I'm Lord Gamadon. Like, pretty much the joke. Like, literally nothing. Like, even amongst bad kids, he was like, Yeah, you're kinda only here because you were abandoned by your parents. Like, sorry, but you're not really all that evil. Like, just go to to your uncle, have him read your bedtime story, and end the day. Seriously. People might forget this because let's be fair, first season, but the way Lloyd ends up stops being a threat is literally Jay just after he's betrayed by Piper, a way more intimidating bad guy, taken to uh, taken to Wu, and was like, I know exactly what we have to do to him, but Lloyd, you are grounded. You go into your room, and I'll come to you at night to read your bedtime story about how you should not trust snakes. Yeah, like the the development is clearly there, and you could even kind of say that it's because of this type of a development is the problem with this series going on for so long is because Lloyd had a complete and great development, but now the problem is, alright, how do we keep him in without making him too stupid or too idiotic? Which makes sense. And generally, I feel like personal drama is the only way they should really go with him, since he's he's supposed to be the greatest ninja and all. So yeah, I like Lord. I would definitely say he's about my third favorite. A bit of to say that I was put debating if I should put him above Cole or below, but I think, yeah, I'll put him below Cole. Now, let's talk about the one everybody believed was the main character of the story. Well, was originally supposed to be. And that is Kai, and oh boy, has he fallen down the drain. Now listen, I am not saying that Kai is a shitty character or anything. It's just that, is there any reason why he should be higher than the lowest ranked? Like, really, when you rank your characters, is there a reason why Kai should be above, characters like Cole, Jay, Lloyd? Is there? Because I'll be honest, in the post Lego Ninjago movie era, I would say he's probably like the character who's only really there as comedy relief. In fact, I believe the only time he had to do anything like noteworthy is being cool about Jay marrying or dating Nia, which, question, are Jay and Leia married or just dating? Because it's a kid show, and Little Jungle is a little more in the we are going to be what parents would approve of in range of what characters are going to be doing. So, would they be considered married if we're being realistic, or they're just dating? Because I'm pretty sure they were dating beforehand. So, married? I guess. We'll talk about the romance plot later with Nia and Jay. So, yeah. Kai doesn't, and Master of the Mountain, where he was really only there as like a kind of a episode filler, story filler, or comedy episode with Zane about to do the goblins and the trolls. Basically it. He was nothing really. There was nothing really all that major. In fact, I don't think he even like does anything. I think he just takes the. I think he and Zane just fight at Rhino, and then he becomes America's new leader. And there's some funny jokes with him being thrown stones at him, but he's like, stop throwing stones at me. Well, that's how we approve of. But that's really it. Honestly, I would say the last time the Kai was really anything major would have to be Tournament of elements where he had a very good story uh, arc in there. Afterward, I don't really think there was anything. I mean, the Possession series, there was some debate about who would be the leader of the ninja team after Lloyd went away, was possessed, which makes me question why Cole was automatically put in charge, since, Cole was originally the leader. In fact, I believe, well, actually, I don't know how to think about it, they probably forgot about that, because in Master of the Mount, they did kind of like reference, oh, yeah, Cole is supposed to be the leader. Then we have Skybound, where he was pretty automatically captured. Like I believe, if I remember correctly, he was the first ninja to be captured. I mean, Zane was captured. Yeah, he was the first ninja captured. Then we had the Hands of no, Hands of Time focused quite a good amount on Kai with his whole parents issue, and I guess kinda in the Fire versus Ice chapters, kinda, I guess. So yeah, Kai is really they try putting Kai in, but nothing really all that sticks. I mean, in the Hands of Time, the whole family kind of dilemma is just there to like, I feel it's just a way to explain what happened to their parents and how they would feel and react. And yeah, if Kai gets implication that parents are evil, he'll hate them and want to get rid of them. Unless they can disprove that. And that's pretty much it. I think there was some kind of nice scene about. Wait, no, that was the Oni arc. That was when the whole him being a blacksmith came into play. So yeah, nothing really much happened from that storyline for Kai. No, like I said, in the Oni arc, he had a whole making the sword, but that's really it. Huh? Although that was pretty major, very helpful. You know, I gotta say, the writers of Lego Ninjago really have a good way of having every character, although they feel like they're doing nothing, do something that's major, even if we don't think it is. But yeah, gotta give kudos to the writers. So yeah, in the Ice and Fire chapter, there's not really all that much. Like, Kai doesn't really go into any kind of deep personal drama without having no fire magic. It was more like just annoyed and kind of feeling useless. But he pretty quickly goes back into the whole ninja thing, and he eventually gets it back up, and then kind of feels that he has it, but it was useless this time. So yeah. Kai does things, but nothing really to take you noteworthy. I think the problem is the fact that Kai's moments are not really his own season and feel more like he was just like there for us to really enjoy and something cool for him to do, but really nothing. Again, in terms of elements, probably like the only time when he redeems Kyler and goes into this dangerous double agent and kind of reveals that he himself is jealous and kind of resentful towards Lloyd. Like, it's not enough to like sway him to the evil side, but it still is there. I mean, granted, could have changed. It kind of shows the character progression. I mean, I kind of wish there's a season where it's kind of the same thing, where your dark emotions kind of rise, but it's not to a degree. Like, maybe our villain says, "Oh, you are jealous, you're envious, you hate Lloyd." And he's like, "Yeah, I would prefer to be a Green Ninja, but what can you do?" No. So, yeah, Kai, I would definitely say he's a pretty good character, but there's nothing really that all that major from him. So, now let's go to a Ninja character, the weird design character in Lego Ninjago, and that is, of course, Zane. Now, Zane is, I would say, a pretty cool character. He's literally ice, which is one of my favorite types of abilities, and he's a cyborg ninja. Like, I do not care if you are someone who is like not into ninjas or robots, or someone who says, "This is cyborg ninja, what ridiculous kid shit." You gotta admit, the idea of there being a cyborg ninja with ice powers is fucking badass. And I'll be honest, I really like Zane. Zane. And again, he's probably like one of my favorite characters in the series. Is in terms of everything. Like the way he uses his eyes is pretty cool and cool. You get like yeah, we get that. And the way his in the reboot episode season is really good. I like how his ending is sad and kind of like you don't really expect it. I mean, granted, he is revived later, but it's pretty kind of tragic if you really think about him sacrificing. And I like the fact that he is the one who sacrifices himself. It's not Lloyd, because the other ninjas are still there. And since this is the most cybernetic, it would make more sense for Lloyd, well, for Zane to be the one to do the finishing blow. I like it, and I really think he is awesome in it. Afterwards, again, like Kai, I don't think there's all that many things that really focus on all that on him. Like the Fire and Ice didn't really focus on him that much. I mean, I guess in Spear he wasn't really that much special. It wasn't until he like the final episode of the battles where he was the one who get the finishing blow on a Spear because of the type advantage. Since if ice is cold enough, it will affect fire. And I kind of like how, and I like the fact that in the end of the battle, Zane was also kind of like affected, kind of didn't want it, but if he was allowed to, he would give it there and would be all solved. So yeah. Now we have, now the rest of the Ice chapter is not really all that much. Like the plot twist that the Ice Emperor was going to be Zane was, honestly, I feel like even before the season began was already a really big theory. So yeah. But not much for his character. No, the thing about it, as soon as he got brought back, he was able to immediately solve every problem. And let's be real here, whenever you have like the main power is the main character, once they are broken free, you're pretty much done for. The character is just gonna deal with everything. So yeah, I really like Zane. I hope he gets an arc soon. Like the next arc is probably gonna be, I believe the next arc is more supposed to be about what? I think it was supposed to be more about Nia. I'm not sure exactly. But I hope we get something more. Now, I should also like reference the whole Echo Zane thing because in case you are unaware, since it's been a while ago, like even in store, even behind the scenes, it's been a while ago. But Echo Zane, who is supposed to be like a complete robotic form of Zane, was introduced in Skybound and hasn't reappeared since then. Like I believe Jay and Nia do remember him, but they do not know anything after. But he hasn't brought up. In fact, originally Mr. E was supposed to be Echo Zane. The thing is just that, you know, Zane shouldn't remember Echo Zane. So seeing Echo Zane's head would really mean nothing. Which is the reason why Mr. E just ended up being killed haphazardly by Gamadon. So yeah. Now the thing is, Echo Zane is still technically in the story. Like I don't believe there's any mentioning of him like not appearing. In fact, the writers right now do seem to be like, yeah, they are in the background and we might use them later, but it's gonna be a while. I mean, let's be real here. Piper pretty much has similar case, but he pretty much like appeared almost like every season until like after his big moment and then just randomly become evil. So who knows really? But yeah, I feel like with Echo Zane still being out there, it's possible that's gonna be his next big storyline. I mean, you could kind of say he has a storyline in the whole Prime Empire, but he didn't really. He was just kind of there because he was just had kind of like a side plot, so we could focus on the human world, and for there to be a reason why mechanic would be a problem. So yeah. Like it's clear the right, like I said before, the writers know a way to keep characters do something even if they're not all that focused. Because, but yeah. So yeah, now we're gonna talk about Nia, the newest ninja above the group. You get into the pixel later. Don't worry. Okay. So yeah, Nia. I'll be honest, she is another one of these characters who you're like, I cannot believe how things have changed since the pilots. Like seriously, I believe, I guess before the possession arc, story arc, I felt like Mia was just going to again be that character who kind of helps out, appears pretty regular, and has a reason to appear, but she'll not be anything major. But no, she gets water power. She becomes the water ninja. She saves this world with from the ghost invasion. Has a good, has a pretty decent story in the Fire and Ice story arc in the 11th season, I believe. No, yeah, Nia is still there. Like she pretty changed. Now, a while ago, I said how I hated Nia, how she just feel she's supposed to be this perfect. So yeah, first I thought she was gonna be kind of really annoying. Like she's there and she's supposed to be this very skilled, very talented, very capable character, but she always gets captured and is, basically that character who is supposed to be all great and oh my, but they're really like just a glorified damsel. Like, I don't care if you say how much better you are than Princess Peach. I don't. You might as well wear her outfit and say her lines because you're pretty much as useful as her in the end of the day. But no, she really grown on me. I mean, sure, she doesn't have really all that much focus as the rest. In fact, you could still argue that she has the least amount of focus. I mean, the biggest story arcs right now are her and Jay's character and kind of the romance, which I see why people hate it. But I'm like, it makes sense. Like, the characters are trying to give every character a bit of a spotlight, and if you don't really have much to do with a character, just go into the main trait. And the romance is pretty decent. I mean, it's not like they are focusing an entire season on it. It's more like the episode. Like Prime Empire, let's have a one episode where they are getting points by dancing where you kind of rely on a good partner. In fact, the way I view it, it's more like Jay and Nia are the duo of the team. Like when you have a big group of heroes, you have those two who are like always partnered together because they work so well. And that's why I view Nia. She and Jay work really well together, technically, combatively, and everything. That's why Jay and Nia stories are more together. And how that's like another major point in the Skybound, which is really well done. I personally feel like we should just have like an ending to the whole thing, but as that way we are not. And also, who knows? We still haven't had an entire season focused on Nia after the whole possession arc. So who knows? Maybe there'll be another arc where maybe the character writers will address the criticism of Nia just being a love interest for Jay, which they're not really if you think about it. But yeah. Now, on to my favorite ninja, and that is Jay. So yeah, Jay is my favorite character, like hands down. Honestly, I made some comparison with anime characters before in this, so let me give you another comparison. Jay is basically the Sanji of Lego Ninjago. I mean, think about it. He is the one who is used as the joke. Like, when you make a joke, when you have a joke, you usually have around him. Because it's a very easy joke. Sanji is a very easy joke with Nami and Robin. I mean, Nami-san, Robin-chan, or Robin-san, I'm not exactly sure. He doesn't really do that much with Robin as much as Nami. So, yeah. And he also has like a romantic thing with Nia, just like how Sanji is romantically pretty much like in love with every other girl. So it makes sense. And his stories honestly, personally, I feel like his are the best. Like I like this compound arc. I like the Prime Empire. I think those are like some of the best of we got. And I also like the kind of insecurity that he has about him when he has to compare, like in Cole's, when he fight against Cole. Like he's like, Cole has super strength, is way more skilled than me. How am I supposed to do with him? My ability is blocked by his. What do I supposed to do? What do I have? So it's fun. I also like how he kind of uses the jokes in a way to fight back. Like when there was that battle royale between the Elemental Masters where he was basically completely unprepared. He was like, "I'm literally in the bathtub right now. I am literally completely down with my god," and he like uses his bathtub as a way to attack. It's pretty funny and great. Needless to say, Jay, my favorite character. I like his lightning ability. I just also like his personality, since he's more the charismatic member of the team, the more the showboat. If you know what I mean. I mean, he was literally in charge of a show, for God's sakes, after the team was disbanded. So yeah, I really love Jay. I might even make a video on Jay one day. I mean, who knows? I mean, my channel is all about overview of everything. Now that we've dealt with the ninja, it's time for us to focus on the supporting characters. And let's start with the one who I would actually think has to be put in, and that's Wu. Honestly, I think Wu is the first character that we've seen. Like, we might see Kai before, but I'm pretty sure Wu was like the first time. Like, he was the one who we see walking the mountain for the first time, and then we see Kai. And I really like Wu. I mean, he is kind of the point where you're like, alright, he kind of served his purpose, so is he gonna be all that prominent? Does he have to be? So that character with an old teacher kind of becomes obsolete, and that's even kind of addressed in the most recent season. Since the thing about the old master characters is that usually die, and Master Wu isn't dead yet. In fact, I believe there are at least. No, wait, no. Actually, there's only like one time that Master Wu is believed to possibly be dead. So yeah. Now, the Wu's character right now is a bit on a kind of a old age life crisis because he's like really old. Like, I'm honestly feeling like Master Wu could be one of those characters who lived like through a lot of wars and a lot of conflicts, and he's aware of all of them. He knows them personally. He has the experience. In fact, at the beginning of the fire, in the art, it was shown how he can pretty much still like outclass everyone, but then the end with the fire part, he gets captured and defeated by the ninja pretty easy in a scroll, which I feel like is supposed to show how dedicated and wishful the ninja are to bringing Zane back. Which some people have a problem since you'd think that after all what they've shared through with Wu, all the things they've learned, you think they would trust his instinct better. But let's be real here, the whole master being outclassed by their student is usually confronted by the character being, opposed. Like, we agree with you on a lot of aspects, master, but we think we do better, which is a bit of a more, which is honestly a pretty in-deep discussion about this, since I feel it's a trope more than anything. And I like the Master of Mountain way that's kind of addressed. Like, he's really old, his age is starting to affect his body, and the ninjas are clearly surpassing him to a point at the beginning of the series he's like, I am literally I might as well be the oldest person in the world. My students could literally be masters. Like one of my students is literally prepared to be masters. Like my students are literally telling me or trying to convince me they still need me. Even though I've seen that firsthand, they do not need me. And I like the way it's ended with Master Wu being like, you know what? Let's go out and have some adventure. Like, let's just go. I mean, there's plenty of things we still haven't seen. Now the question is, where is he in the most recent arc or story? Who knows? Maybe he just not is not going to play as big of a role as he did in the well. Now I think about no. Actually, it's pretty hard to tell how much of a role characters are gonna play in Ninjago. Maybe it was just I don't know. Think about it. I believe there are only 4 sets, and I believe there are usually 6. So maybe there was going to be a later release set or something with Wu. Who knows really? But yeah, Wu's character right now is definitely. I am definitely scared of Wu's character since, again, you don't want to keep the master character be too much. I mean, just look at Makarov from Fairy Tail. That guy, I believe, in the final couple of arcs, had pretty much like every moment where he could just die and would be tragic, and people would have a little bit of a problem. Would have definitely put it in the top 10 moments. But no, it seems like to be a joke where the character just doesn't die, even though there's a reason why he could. So yeah, I am a bit concerned about Wu's character, but I feel like it could still work better. I mean, who knows? Maybe they are finally gonna like address the whole thing. They kind of have him like try to retire or kill him off or give the master role. So yeah, Cole. So yeah, Wu is. So yeah, let's hope that Wu is not going to overstay his welcome. But again, who knows what he's gonna do. Now let's talk about Pixel, just for the sake of it. So yeah, Pixel, she could be argued to be the newest recruit. And honestly, I do feel like she's mostly just there as someone to keep the CD as extra protected, who works closely with the ninja since the other elemental masters or the people who are protecting aren't really all that reliable. Seriously, it said something when the police chief and the Joe character are the next best thing in defense. So yeah. Shook character is pretty good. There's nothing real that important I would mention. Like, you would think she'll play a bigger role when it came to Zane's appearance, but she really doesn't. It's definitely seems like her role is to be Zane's love interest, but she's clearly more than that. Like during Sons of Gamana, there's this very well made moment between her and Zane when she's like, I am Samurai X, but was I more useful to you when I was inside your head giving you information? Because I prefer being this. Which is great capitalization since if she's more useful inside of Zane's head, then logically it makes more sense for her to be inside of Zane's head instead of being a body. But not only does Zane prefer her to be, outside of his head and being in front of him, like, yeah, obviously, but also she's more useful in there than just inside of Zane's brain. I also like the joke they had in the Prime Empire season. Again, it's not very much of a focus on them, but it's a pretty nice interaction between the two. And I feel like the interactions between Zane and Pixel are more like Zane has more of an outlandish, like he's trying to be more goofy type of a character. Well, Pixel's gotta be more the straight man to the comedy, to the whole situation. And I think it's done pretty well. And I am curious how much it's gonna be like this, how much of it's gonna be a continuation. And I'm wondering how much of a use she'll have, but right now all I'm gonna say is I hope we're gonna get more of her. And I can't wait to see if there's gonna be even more of a story. In fact, honestly, I could imagine like maybe she'll assemble her own kind of unit of ninja characters, like the ones people want to be a part of the ninja, like Skylar. If Moore comes back, he'll. I mean, the Ghost Moore, the Ninja, Lego Ninjago World Moore, not the actual Moore. Rest in peace, Kirby Moore. I'm talking about those characters coming together and being our unit. Like what Jay kind of did, by a more efficient version of it. So yeah, cannot wait until next time. So yeah, as you could have tell, I really like all the characters. I feel like a lot of the characters in Lego Ninjago really work. In fact, the worst characters I could tell are more the second generals who just feel like they're nothing. The really only there for comedy relief characters. Every main character, and there are plenty of them we could go over. Like we have Garmadon, we have Overlord, we have Misako, and multiple things we can still go over with. All I'm gonna say is just the characters are well made. That's the main purpose of it. And I cannot wait until the next adventures. Who knows what's going to happen? No, I heard some unfortunate news that it's not going to be until 2021 that the next season is going to be released. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the whole issue in the world is definitely a problem. So, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a while, but I cannot wait. I'm definitely planning on buying quite a few of the legacy sets in the newest wave. But yeah, I cannot wait for the next thing. Who knows what's going to happen? All I know is that no matter how many different changes there are in Ninjago and outfits, I just know that the story is made by people who are talented and will write it in great way. Wait, and I cannot wait. Maybe we'll even be able to, in 10 years, make a 20th anniversary. Maybe Lego Ninjago will basically be one of the longest running franchises imaginable. I mean, we already have a movie, so who knows what's next to. All I know is that the ninja will be amazing to tell. Well, maybe there'll be some bad parts, but again, but so far it looks like it's gonna be a bright shine into the future. Ninja, let's go! Goodbye, everybody. I hope you like this video and you leave a like. Just one more time. Just I had to do the catchphrase. Ninja, let's go!